number 2. Okay, so what we're going with circuit number 2 is a little more dynamic movement, a little more multi-joint, a little more kinetic chain, a little more balance emphasis. So we'll get it started. 4 exercises again. First thing is the sit to stand pull-up. Okay. Second is the 4-point reaches. All right. Third thing we're going to go with is the pivot punch with the single arm using the band. Okay. Then we're going to go with the kettlebell or the dumbbell pickup. So going from the low pickup position with that. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Give you talking points along the way. Sit to stand pull-ups has to be a mid-strap to higher position. What I've got here is the mid-strap again, so it's pretty much mid-strap. I've got a high strap set up here, so I'll demonstrate both. Okay, the mid-strap's actually going to be a little harder as far as total body and the way you finish. Okay, so what we want to do is get here. Remember, when we're going sit to stand, we're going to get out up underneath it a little more. Now we got to really hold this postural position really well. So we just go straight to the ground, let the hips sit on the ground, okay? And then we fire by starting the hands and the heels at the same time. So we pull from the hands, push from the heels, and then finish in plank alignment, hugging the shoulders down, not hooking them back, okay? Hug your shoulders down, but push from your heels long through the back of the head, and then control it straight down. We don't want to swoop the knees, okay? None of that. We just want to go from here, posterior extension right there, okay? And that's your movement, all right? Again, that one's a little bit hard. So if you're doing that, the good thing about it is you get to sit on the ground and rest between reps if you really want to, okay? And then you can get fewer reps and really get the same amount of work, okay? Now, I'm not saying this one is any easier because this is the full sit to stand pull up, more like a lat pull position, all right? So we can get here, and what we get is more of a tippy toe stand up. Okay, so we get up on tippy toes at the top. Now I've got this set high. If it's not above your shoulder, you don't need to do that. Okay, but if you can get to shoulder level, you can just stay on your heels. But this one's a little higher, so tippy toes. All right, and then sink to the heels as you come down. You can allow scapular glide upward into elevation. All right, but start the movement by firing, triggering to depress the shoulder. And then pull yourself up and get tippy toes. Again, try not to swing. You don't want to swing. You don't want to do any of this. Okay? Try to go hip straight down, pull from the hand straight up, and then finish up on your toes. Okay? So that's how to do the hard one. All right? With TRX, that's harder because you're coming from a narrow anchor point where they vector out like this. So you got to kind of emphasize pulling apart a little more and getting yourself up into it. So just keep that in mind. You may want to stick with the mid strap. If it's TRX, you do more of that plank row, leave a little more length to get open. Okay, so next thing is the 4-point reach. All right, Kent, I'm going to demonstrate how you want to do this. So remember the step overs. Okay, so we're here, balance, up, over, reach. Allow yourself to lunge down to it. Kent, you can lunge this all day. Up and back, up, out, over, lunge, up and back. Side steps. So remember on the side steps, we don't want to turn out, okay? And we don't want to step backwards. So we want to go side, slightly forward, pointed forward, and then just shift the hip over or back behind this foot and allow your body to go straight down without having to turn, okay? We don't want the knee to drive forward. We don't want to turn. We just want to go right here, sit your rear straight back behind this heel, and go right down into your instep, and then push up and back. Same thing here, up, over, slightly forward, maybe like 1 foot length forward. Okay, so if it would be a toe to heel alignment almost. Okay, hip goes back, straight down into your instep. You don't have to turn your body at all. This other leg should get straight. Okay, so whatever leg you're basically lunging or single leg squatting on, okay, the other leg stays down straight, getting an inner thigh stretch. And we're here, and then we bring it back up. Okay, and then you repeat. Okay, so it's right foot forward, left foot forward, right side, left side. You can switch it up, left, right, okay? But keep it in that alternating sequence just so the body gets that work, you know, like that. Okay, so 1, 1, 2, 2, what have you. Okay, Liz, you can do the side ones, okay? The front ones you just won't be able to really round down into deeply, okay? You could probably allow a little bit of range. So I'm just saying what I think you probably could do. I'm not saying you should or shouldn't. This kind of, I think it's going to be a feel thing for you. Just go slow at first, okay? So you can do this all day. You can do this all day. You can do this as long as you don't rapidly go downward and force, you know, a bad situation right here. So we just want to lever, get as much reach as you can. If you can lunge and get right there, that's great, okay? And then just pick it back up, all right? Here, sink, allow more of a lever into it. Again, that's going to limit your range though, because you're going to run into, you know, end range on the joints, and the muscles are going to get tighter quicker because you're not allowing that spinal flexion, okay? And then you're back up and in. Again, the coming back component's the hard part, all right? Then we're up and over to the side. You do it the exact same way as Kent would do it, because you have such great leg strength and flexibility, you're actually able to get down here without rounding your spine, okay? And a little bit of roundness in the upper spine is not a bad thing. That's not going to be a problem as long as you don't go rapid or drastically, you know, beyond a comfortable range. Same thing here. Shift it, get your hips, get in depth, okay? You're open in this position, so this allows you to get depth without really having to worry about it. On the front ones, you know, you run into your leg basically, so it's going to limit you, okay? But do what you can do what you feel good with. If it hurts, don't do it, okay? So next, we've got the pivot punch, all right? So this is a fun one, a little more dynamic, okay? Get a band right here, start it basically just like we start our basic rotations with the pivot step before we add arm reach. So you can start with this. Liz, good idea to do a few of these just to feel the core connection to the spine as the legs take you through locomotion and the arms kind of just hold stability, and then you add a little bit of punch, okay? So we're actually not rotating the spine at all right now, all right? So you're perfectly safe when you do that. No rotation, all right? I'll show you the legs a little more. Okay, so you come here, pivot to load. Remember to keep the elbow kind of behind the wrist. Don't let it fling out. This is long and not really tense right now. If you want to get some tension, keep this position. Pivot, punch. Bring it back, pivot, punch. Bring it back, pivot, punch. Okay, so you unload front side, unload back side. Unload front side to go back, unload back side to go forward. Okay, show you from the back side. So we're here, pivot, and pivot, punch. And notice how my other hand is just kind of right here. It's right along with it. It's right along with it. There's still a little bit of push-pull going, okay? So it's just a pretty natural movement once you're used to it, which you both are, okay? Then we've got the kettlebell or the dumbbell from the pickup position. Kent, kettlebell allows you to get a lot of weight, okay? So you can get that pretty good stance. Kent, you're really good at this, so I don't really, probably don't even have to tell you anything. But you're here, pull hips back, okay? Just make sure right here, everything's aligned. You're not overly looking up, but you're also not rounding down, okay? Get that depth, okay? First 2 or 3 reps, you know, you can go a little shallow until you're really feeling good and activated, and then get that depth, okay? You can go there. You could also go sumo, which is gonna open those inner thighs up, okay? But if you're feeling real tight, just be careful not to strain your inner thighs, okay? So sumo is going to make these feel it, okay? Liz, you can go with the kettlebell, or you could also go, if you're using a lighter weight with a dumbbell, which will tend to actually allow you an easier position because you can stay more neutral, whereas a kettlebell kind of turns you over and rolls you in here, so it's going to tend to pull you down a little more. We can stay slightly more open, and a lot of times the dumbbell is actually a little bit longer, so you don't have to go quite as deep, okay? So you can get that same wider stance, okay? And you'll be able to get depth all day with no problem. But if you want to get more of like a power alignment, basically, be more narrow, you know, the dumbbell may help you get a little extra range, okay? You're just right through there. And notice I'm here, okay? My elbow's not even to my knees, and I'm able to let the dumbbell touch the floor. Now there's a light one, you know, with a heavier one, you're gonna have to hold it a little more. But a lot of them, you know, this is a hex, a lot of them have a big disc. Whatever you got, you know, make use of it. And it'll be easy for you. Okay, so you could also do the 4-point reaches with this, okay? Kent, that's for you, you know. Liz, if you feel good, definitely do the side reaches with it. I would not load the front reaches with anything other than body weight for Liz, okay? So that's circuit number 2, all 4 exercises. Coming up next, circuit number 3. All right.